So we left off with Korra washed up on the shore of one of the islands in the Fire Nation after a rough time traveling through the digestive tract of an angry spirit. She has no memory of anything, which, given what she's just been through, is probably for the best. The head honcho figures that she's got some dark energy that's causing her problems, so she's going to need a cosmic laxative in order to straighten that out. So, let's break out the big contraption.
Waters cleanse the darkness that plagues your spirit.
Om Nom Shivai, Om Nom Shivai. When she reaches the water, purple Korra meets blue Korra, which I really hope isn't a prelude to the whole Superman red, Superman blue thing. Past avatars show up to advise her, telling her that unless this is cured, the dark energy not being purple, that the avatar line ends with her. There will never be another born. So let's try not to fuck this up. The only hope is to go back to the very beginning and search for Rava, and the one who will help her find Rava is Juan, the first avatar. Only right now he's just a thief, having stolen food from the Chu brothers, who is hoarding lots of it, although the name Chu is a dead giveaway right there.
Hey, stop!
I can see the birds are eating pretty well also. Well, it's a guard's job to get crapped on, so this barely phases them, and they quickly catch up to Juan and deal with him. Nobody laughs at the Chus, although that's probably because if you laugh and say Chu, it sounds like you sneezed. They take back all the food, well, everything in the sack. They don't check inside of his clothes because they may be thugs in the service of an uncaring ruler, but they're not the TSA. There are limits, after all. He shares it with his friends back home.
Hey, Yao, I got some food for you.
You might want to see a doctor about that growth. Or maybe even a botanist. A bunch of animals show up too, and Juan finally gives them the last of the food instead of eating it himself, to show he loves nature almost as much as he clearly loves hair gel. He thinks about stealing directly from Chu the Elder, but the others warn him that he risks banishment trying that. That's a fate worse than death, because out there, the spirits run wild. That's what happened to Woody here. They leap inside of a person and they mess you up real good. But not to worry, Juan has an idea. Except that when Juan has an idea, you should usually run far away. A group of hunters is being gathered to travel outside the city to get food, and Juan volunteers to join them. Only, this is not about gathering food for him, it's about the weapon he gets when he goes out to hunt. The city is located on the back of a giant lion turtle, in order to protect the humans who live there. Since they're leaving its protection, the lion turtle is giving them the power of firebending so they can try to defend themselves. Well, like 5 minutes into their trip, Juan has gone full Shaggy on them, terrified of all the ghosts and wanting to head back. So the head guy finally just tells him to shut up and go home already. But it was all a trick by Juan. He sneaks back in without giving the fire back. Yeah, did you forget the guy is made of wood? That's like juggling salt shakers around a slug.
What did you do? You can't steal from the lion turtle?
Really? Because I just did.
Yeah, you stole fire. Why don't you go ask Prometheus how that worked out for him? But Juan refuses to listen and is prepared to lead an assault on the Chus. The bad guys have weapons, but it's not much help when Juan hurls a fireball at them. Can't really stop that with a blade on a stick. But eventually Juan is overwhelmed because he can't bring himself to kill one of them, so he gets nabbed. Since he refuses to give up his co-conspirators, he's to be banished. But after a little bit of begging, the lion turtle is willing to let him keep the fire in order to protect himself. Because out there he's gonna need it.
Bet he doesn't last till morning.
You're welcome, asshole. It is pretty messed up out there, though. Things everywhere running around. Size-altering frogs, giant Venus flytraps, giant sperm. Things are very bad all around, but finally he literally stumbles into a beautiful oasis. And since he's starving, this is just what he needs. Unfortunately, there's no persuading the bouncer.
You are not welcome in my oasis, human.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Please, help me. I'm starving and I haven't slept all night.
Not my problem.
So these are the spirits before they were corrupted. Looks like they were always dicks. He tries disguising himself to sneak in with all the spirits. Apparently this is a restricted neighborhood. But he gets found out, and while some sympathize, the one in charge refuses to show any pity.
Don't pity him. He's just like every other human, ugly, destructive, and lacking any respect for nature.
So, you invade this world and supplant the humans that emerged naturally in it while claiming to respect nature. Oh yeah, that makes sense, Raccoon Face. The other spirits suggest going to one of the other lion turtle cities, but Juan says he didn't even know they existed, so he has no idea how to find one.
I think it's on the other side of None of Your Business Valley.
So you tell him to go back to the lion turtle, and then won't tell him how he can do that. And you think Juan's the idiot. I mean, he is, but that's beside the point. On the way back, Juan spots a cat deer that's been caught in a net and is ready to eat it because he's starving. Yeah, if you want to get humans to respect nature, making them starve and desperate really isn't a good first step, is it? But despite this, Juan feels sorry for it and lets it go. The hunters, the ones from his old village, come to claim the prey they rightfully caught, but Juan fights them instead, using his knowledge of the woods to get some of them killed because, he's the good guy and killing people who are trying to survive is what good guys do. He finally gets caught, but Raccoon Face hops into one of them and scares the other one off, deforming the guy in the process because nothing shows respect for nature like corrupting the natural form, right? The spirit puts him in some healing water to revive Juan, because by saving the cat deer he's proved that he's different. He respects nature because, nothing in nature eats meat. That's just a scientific fact, especially not frogs and Venus flytraps.
I never had a human as a pet before. I think I'll call you Stinky.
And I'll call you Dickhead, dickhead. While living amongst the spirits, Juan learns the early firebending techniques, as was seen in the 3rd season of ATLA, wielding it better than any of the hunters who come along. This inspires the downtrodden of his home to leave the rule of Chu the Elder and live out in the world, although Woody doesn't seem to be wielding fire like the others, probably because it would be a bad idea. Juan, though, has decided it's time to seek out the other lion turtle cities and strikes out with his deer cat friend. On the way, he comes across a stampede because 2 spirits are battling, and they're of such power that they're going to destroy this valley, so Juan tries stepping in. One of them begs for help, saying the other is holding him prisoner, tormenting him for 10,000 years. Well, no way is Juan going to allow that to happen, so he steps in, allowing the one, Vaatu, to finally escape. Well, try not to be too surprised. Juan fucked up. This is Rava, and her job is to keep Vaatu in check so he doesn't run amok. And by swallowing Vaatu's story hook, line, and sinker, Juan has just unleashed a terrible evil upon the world. Ass. But this does mean that Korra finally knows who Rava is, but there are still more answers to come, which we'll see in Part 2.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!